let's move on. Right? Now, Gene Square. Recently, Gene Square has came out and now he's trying to put Biggie's murder on Mace. Prior to Mace, it was D-Rock and Paul, right? He went on one of these platforms and he got up there and he said, oh man, nigga D-Rock and the nigga Paul, the nigga D-Rock convinced Big to come there and be there. You know what I'm saying? When Big wasn't going out, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, him and Paul, bro, how you blaming these guys, bro? When you was the law official, the law officer there, right? Now, many of y'all sit back and cap about Gene's story never changes. I am so tired of you people who sit up there and talk about Gene's story never changes. Even after I don't prove to you, he went from giving Paul a gun and went downstairs and then came to get the cards from the valet, right? And then he said he gave D-Rock the gun. And then he went downstairs and went to the valet. And then when I said that he said he gave D-Rock the gun, he said I was lying, right? But when you watch the docs, he never said in one part 2 or 3 he gave D-Rock a gun, right? In his books, he never said he gave D-Rock a gun. But when I'm telling y'all, he said he gave D-Rock a gun, he came out and told y'all I was lying, right? Then he changed the story and said, oh yeah, I did give D-Rock the gun, but I took the gun back because D-Rock ain't my mans like that. Do y'all remember that? D-Rock ain't my mans like that. I ain't got to look out for Big and them niggas, right? Then he tells the story about how he told everybody they was coming to kill them, right? Then he says, oh, I should have told them. You know, maybe if I told them, I thought you told them, right? Then it was the story about the dude in the blue tie, blue suit, right? The guy with the blue tie, the blue peanut head with the blue tie, the blue bow tie, the blue suit. But when you go read the paperwork, the guy that Little Caesar them said the dude had on gray. Whoever pulled up on their car and shot had on gray, not on a blue suit with a blow tie, right? Then he says, this nigga done said so many goddamn stories. But what I want to introduce to y'all, let me pull this word up. How many of y'all ever heard of gross negligence? Right? Now, if you're a cop or law enforcement, right? you will notice, right? We're going to read this together. I'm going to give y'all a minute to read this. All right? We can read it together. Gross negligence is a legal concept describing conduct that demonstrates a reckless disregard for the safety or rights of others. Going beyond ordinary negligence, it is characterized by an extreme lack of care or a conscious disregard for foreseeable risk, often described as a wanton or willful disregard for the safety of others. Right? Now, man, it's fully charged. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Key characteristics of gross negligence. Gross negligence involves a conscious choice to ignore a substantial risk of harm to others. Now, how many times did Gene tell us that how many times have Gene told us that he was warned that they was coming to kill him, right? Now, as law officer, right? Did he notify the police at any point? No, right? Okay. Extreme departure from reasonable care. It is not just a failure to act with ordinary prudence, but a significant deviation from what a reasonable person would do in the same situation. So, y'all being the reasonable people. If somebody called you, 3 people called you and told you that they were coming to murder y'all, what would you do? Would you call as a law officer? Aren't you supposed to notify the police that there is a extreme threat on the life of your party? That would what a normal person would do, right? More than an ordinary negligence. Gross negligence is a higher degree of negligence than simple carelessness or inadvertence. Potential and punitive damages. In some cases, a finding of gross negligence can lead to the award of punitive damages to punish the wrongdoer and deter similar behavior. Right? Right here. Here goes the perfect one for you. Driving. Speeding excessively on a rainy day or driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs or telling Kenny, run the next 3 lights, Kenny. Right? Driving. Kenny, run the next 3 lights, Kenny. Wouldn't that be gross negligence? Right? Now, follow me on this, right? Once Gene received several forms of intelligence regarding the assassination plot on Biggie, right? He had a legal duty, a legal obligation, right? As a sworn official to contact the authorities. Did he do that? No. Failure to do so subsequently resulted in the assassination of Big. Right or wrong? Now, Big's murder could have definitely been prevented had he simply informed police. Had the LAPD known that Gene withheld permanent intelligence that directly caused the death of Big, LAPD would have an obligation to contact the Division of Parole to have Gene investigated and reprimanded. The fact that Gene was working and was illegally carrying his duty weapon in the state of California would have resulted in him being fired from his law enforcement job. Had Ms. Wallace known that Jean's gross negligence resulted in the death of her son, she could have civilly sued Gene, thus holding him responsible for said negligence. So ultimately, Gene got Biggie's blood on his hands, right? Now that we got that out the way, right? Y'all understand what gross negligence is, right? Let me show y'all who say Gene's story don't change, right? Watch this. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, and scholarship and research. Fair use is a use permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit educational and personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Now, I don't know if y'all know, but they getting ready or they already reopened the Biggie case, right? Which means either Gene knows this and trying to protect himself, or he just sitting here trying to put it on somebody else. Now, you seen more recently, he tried to blame D-Rock and he tried to blame Paul, right? Then he turned around and tried to blame Mace, right? Because all the things, Gene, you knew that they was coming to kill Big. You knew it. Chaz told you, right? Then Chaz and them shows up. They there. This is where I believe Gene got the call in the party and allegedly, right? Let me put up my copyright disclaimer before I show this content, right? I believe, because you know he's a liar, right? He said he didn't give D-Rock a gun. Then he said he gave D-Rock a gun. He said he didn't give D-Rock a gun. And I was lying, right? Then he changed the story around, right? So you don't know when he's telling the truth and you don't know when he's lying. I know when the nigga's lying, right? Now, check this out. I put something nice together for y'all, all y'all that say Gene's story never changes, right? Check this out. Chaz wins. Chaz said to me, yo, there's gonna be some street shit tonight. And they're gonna be coming at y'all hard body. They knew this y'all last night. I knew all the stuff to do. I knew what we were supposed to do and not to do. And I allowed these kids to... Okay. That's gross negligence number one, right? Chaz called him and told him, yo, they coming at y'all hard body tonight. This is going to be some street shit. Not no industry stuff, some street stuff. They saw y'all last night and they coming for y'all, right? Now, who the hell is they and how do Chaz know who they are is another story. And rest in peace to Chaz. He passed away, right? And he told Gene, don't ever tell nobody this. But being that he died, Gene feels, hey, y'all niggas pay me, the more y'all pay, the more I say, right?
Man who was out there in California, Chaz Williams. Chaz said to me, yo, it's gonna be some street shit tonight. And they're gonna be coming at y'all hard body. They knew this y'all last night. I knew all the stuff to do. I knew what we were supposed to do and not to do. And I allowed these kids to go out and go to that party. When Paul said, you don't have to go to the party, I said, no, I ain't going to the party. And I'm letting y'all know, any one of y'all go to y'all party, y'all might not go. That's what I should have said. But that's being a Monday night quarterback and the game was Saturday.
But he told y'all, he told them what was going to happen, right? But here he said, oh, I should have told them, right? I'm going to let this play straight through so y'all can see the contradiction. I'm not going to stop each one. Check this out.
But now, I knew a man who was out there in California, Chaz Williams. Chaz said to me, yo, it's going to be some street shit tonight. And they're going to be coming at y'all hard body. They knew this y'all last night. I knew all the stuff to do. I knew what we were supposed to do and not to do. And I allowed these kids to go out and go to that party. When Paul said, you don't have to go to the party, I said, no, I ain't going to the party. And I'm letting y'all know, any one of y'all go to y'all party, y'all might not go. That's what I should have said. But that's being a Monday night quarterback and the game was Saturday. Like the videos that y'all see, Shadowhunter, they showing that, there was no witnesses out there like that. It was those three girls. It was Chaz them on the other side. And then all that stuff is chopped. So when Chaz told me don't tell nobody, you know, I said, damn, bro, you was right there. If I knew you was right there, I would have just walked to the corner and waited for y'all on the corner. He said I was hitting your jack. You understand? But when all that shit going on, you ain't paying no attention to your phone. Had I known Chaz was on the other court, like right across the street, I knew he was coming. But had I known, I wouldn't have fought with Puff to get in the car. Because he was like, yo, Jay, get in the car. Get in the car. And I'm like, yo, man, you don't tell me how to do my job. See, I'm even telling Chaz, you know, yo, we're going to need some security. We're going to need some help, brother. You know what I'm saying? He said, where y'all going? I told him we was going to the Peterson Museum. He said, I got an affair to go to and I got some business to take care of. But as soon as I'm finished with that, you know, I'm coming through that. I'm gonna bring some fellows with me too. You know what I'm saying? So I knew that would given us extra firepower that we needed. And of course, you figured out that we needed. So, you know, he gave us the heads up that shit was gonna go down even before we left out that house. You know, I know people have a problem with me, you know, telling the story back in '96, but I'm gonna let you know how serious it is because there are people who saw the car turn the corner. They saw the shots because they were at the light that we blew. You get it? There were people at the light on the other side of the street coming towards the Peterson Museum. Coming towards the Peterson Museum, the night they got killed. That was enough. But now I have my man who was out there in California, Chaz Williams. Chaz said to me, yo, there's going to be some street shit tonight. And they're going to be coming at y'all hard body. They noticed y'all last night. I knew all the stuff to do. I knew what we were supposed to do and not to do. And I allowed these kids to go to that party. When Puff said, you know I to go to the party, I said, like, I ain't going to the party. And I'm letting y'all know, any one of y'all go to y'all party, y'all might not go in the bed. That's what I should have said. But that's been the Monday night quarterback in the game was Saturday. Like the videos that y'all see, Shadowhunter, they showing that, there was no witnesses out there like that. It was those three girls. It was Chaz them on the other side, and then all that stuff is chopped. So when Chaz told me don't tell nobody, you know, I said, damn, bro, you was right there. If I knew you was right there, I would have just walked to the corner and waited for y'all on the corner. He said I was hitting your jack. You understand? But with all that shit going on, you ain't paying no attention to your phone. Had I known Chaz was on the other court, like on the, right across the street, I knew he was coming. But I would have fought with Puff to get in the car. Because he was like, yo, Jay, get in the car. Get in the car. And I'm like, yo, man, how you gonna tell me how to do my job? See, I'm even telling Chaz, you know, yo, we're gonna need some security, we're gonna need some help, brother. You know what I'm saying? He said, where y'all going? I told him we was going to the Peterson Museum. He said, I got an affair to go to and I got some business to take care. But as soon as I'm finished with that, you know, I'm coming through that. I'm gonna bring some fellas with me too. You know what I'm saying? So I knew that would given us extra firepower that we needed. And of course, you figured out that we needed. So, you know, he gave us the heads up that shit was gonna go down even before we left out that house. You know, I know people have a problem with me, you know, telling the story back in '96, but I'm gonna let you know how serious it is because there are people who saw the car turn the corner. They saw the shots because they were at the light that we blew.
We know who he's talking about, right? Chaz and them saw the shooting. Chaz and them saw the car turn the corner, right? This is where Gene get his story from. Because we know he done blew through the light. Now, use common sense here, right? Use common sense here. Chaz said he was calling Gene. Gene talking about, yo, if I knew you was outside, man, he said, yo, I was calling you, but you ain't answer your phone. Gene's lying. You think Gene didn't answer his phone? What did Gene go downstairs for, y'all? To get the cars pulled up. When does a security guard? I don't know if y'all ever been in around celebrities, but trust me, Julius is not leaving Beyonce's side to go downstairs and grab niggas valet tickets to go downstairs to tell the niggas to pull the car up. Trust me. You think Julius is leaving Beyonce in the club, in the section, to go around the niggas, yo, give me y'all tickets. I'm gonna go get the cars pulled up. You think he gonna leave Beyonce and then tell Blue Ivy, for example. Yo, hold his gun. Well, I ain't gonna say Blue Ivy, she's a kid. Uh, fucking Lenny S. Whoever's standing around, hanging around Beyonce, right? Yo, hold his gun. I'm gonna go downstairs and get the cars. You think Julius is trusting anybody with his fucking job to protect her? And he gonna go downstairs and get the cars? If you believe that, you have never been around an A-list celebrity. And then think, you in California, it's a gang of Bloods and Crips in here. You the only nigga with guns. You gonna get one of the homies a gun that could get locked up for it, right? Think about this. And you gonna leave niggas and go downstairs to get the cars pulled up? What kind of security guard are you? That makes sense to you? But Chaz said he called him. He's telling us, just like he told us, oh, I ain't give D-Rock no gun until the truth came out. Man, yeah, I took my gun back from D-Rock. He ain't my motherfucking man like that. Big wasn't my principal. Puff was, right? Where was Wolf? Wolf didn't go because Wolf told Diddy, yo, only way I'm going is if you pay for a tour bus and we load this tour bus up. We load this tour bus up with some guns and we drive out there. They all drove out there with guns. You couldn't fly with guns in 96. That didn't happen to 5 years later to 9/11. So if you think Gene got on the plane with some guns, you just as dumb as he is. You could not fly guns on a plane in 96. You Google it if you doubt what I'm saying. That did not happen until 9/11, which was like 2000, 2001. So now, he knows, he tells you Chaz was calling him, but he didn't pick up. You sitting there waiting for the cavalry to arrive and you not going to answer your phone? You called this nigga for help and now you don't answer your phone? Stop it, nigga. The nigga called you, you went downstairs. Now, I'm not accusing Chaz of being in on it, but he knew the hit was going to happen, right? We do know Chaz is close to Matula Shakur, right? If you didn't know that, you know it now. Right? We do know Kadada Jones threw that party, Tupac's girlfriend. Chaz knows that Big is about to get hit, right? And he's close with Matula Shakur. And then Tupac's girlfriend is throwing the party, right? And now Gene is telling y'all that Chaz and them was right there across the street the whole time. They watched the fucking shooting and they watched the car pull off. There you go. Now remember, Pac just got killed 6 months before this. He is telling y'all. Chaz told him that Big was getting ready to get killed, that they coming for y'all. Then Chaz told him, don't say nothing. Don't tell nobody nothing. Why? Why wouldn't you say that Chaz was there and he seen the whole thing, and then you wait till he died to say that? I don't know what kind of immunity you got in that Biggie murder, but I bet you didn't tell the feds that. I bet you didn't tell the police that. You heard him say it, right? Chaz told me not to say nothing. You heard him say that, right? Now, also remember,